Hi guys, my name is Leszek. I'm one of the developers of Lumencraft game that you are seeing in front of you. After the demo, we had many questions, probably from fellow developers, how we are doing things in the game. So this is part of the explanation. This is a devlog number 1. We'll try doing this for first time, so expect anything. So I'm playing the demo map of the game that you might already know from the basically demo. You might see some features that was not in the demo at the time it was available. So I'm just walking out of the base. I have some upgrades on me, so that might be different. So in Lumencraft we are playing as a Mason Tombstone, the mercenary veteran that was sent underground to find previous expedition that was sent basically to survey the underground caves where mysterious lumen crystal was found. The mysterious crystal is the only hope for humankind to survive. This is in the hostile environment that they are living in because of some random crisis that happened on the surface. Like it's very cold and not much energy is left, so the people had to go underground to stay warm, and they found this crystal that we can see here, lumen crystal. So this is the main currency in the game when you basically use it for upgrades, but narratively it's basically a resource source of energy because it glows in the dark and we don't know why, and our task is to find out where did it came from and what's its properties. So the main mechanic of the game is terrain modification. As you can see, we have like the caves wall, and I can like start digging in that wall, and you can see we have like tons of debris falling around. Each of the stones are actually like interactive objects. You can kick them and move around, and you can modify pretty much everything. Like there's pretty much all of it can be destroyed. We have like multiple materials with different properties. For example, this one is a little bit more harder. There are some that you didn't like much in the demo, like lava, but that's a topic for another devlog when we explain how the lava works. So let me just enable the console. Let's drop the darkness, the fog of war, and smoke. Let's leave it on. So, and some debugging tools. So first thing is the Qt pixel map. So basically our terrain is an image. So it's simply a texture that tells us where specific terrain is and what kind of material type it is. So as you can see, this is the whole map of the game. What we are seeing is just the tiny fraction where the blinking circle is. So as you can see, there's actually a lot. This is like 1/8 of what we can actually support in the game, but I think there's no reason to have bigger maps for now. As you can see, each pixel of the terrain is displayed as like a box inside of this quad tree. So this is an algorithm for basically partitioning a space for optimized like interactions, mostly for collisions, because if you want to collide with the terrain, how do you check it? Do you like check every pixel in the image? It's obviously that's not gonna work, because if we have this map is like 4K or something, 2K I think. So it's like 2000 by 2000, you multiply that, then you get how many pixels there are on the map. So the Qt is actually telling us we are in this box here, and we can just check if there are any other pixels in this box, and we can test it with that terrain. So this is a way for optimizing it, and as you can see, it's being modified in real time. So that's why we can actually put this information to our graphic card and do many things with that. So this is like in older days, when you were communicating with graphic cards like directly with setting all the pixels by pixel by pixel, there was games like Scorched Earth for first worms, and there was a couple of like layer, or you might know, I don't know how you pronounce it. So basically we're using the same technology but using the modern hardware, and it allows us to make like this, all of this happen. So for today we are focusing on the terrain. So let me finish the game. because what do we have here? Okay, tell you, show you how it is destroyed by bullets. Monster can destroy it. As you can see, we have our walls are actually destructible as well. So this is a part that you can construct, and you can see how the gate works behind the scene. So you can actually see that the gate is terrain as well. In the first iteration, the gate was destructible as well, but there was a what do we do when there are chunks missing? How do we support it when it's moving? So we decided that the wall is actually you have to destroy it whole, and then it breaks. So it's a little bit different, but well, we wanted to do the same for the buildings, but that's a little bit tricky because some of the buildings are animated, like this healing platform. That's not one to heal me for reason because I have infinite health, maybe? I don't know. So that's not destructible pixel by pixel, although we could do that, but the graphic effects will be a little bit tricky to do, so we decided not to do that. So the player construction that are used for defense and, for example, to break pathfinding of monsters are destructible, and monster can actually find the closest path through the terrain, or they can actually dig through the walls, your walls, or the actual terrain as well. So let me just finish that real quick. Let's drop this one and let's get to the editor. So here's our editor. We are working in Godot engine. So the decision for that was made because Godot engine is open source and free, and because it's open source, we can actually modify each part of the engine and actually create the technology for the terrain that you have seen before, and create custom tools and basically do the communication with graphic cards by ourselves. And by the way, Godot is actually epic. It's really nice to work with. So okay, for example, here we have a map. This is a test map. There are some features that are completely new or being in testing, some of the monsters and weird stuff. And you can see it's pretty small map. So we have this gray terrain. That's the what we would call a dirt, like the softest part of terrain. It's basically this gray thing here. So we have multiple materials here. For example, we have a clay. That's this green rock. I can paint it. We have some tools for that. And as you can see, you could see earlier in the game, we could see it in the quads tree. So it wouldn't change. It's only the material is changing. So let me just enable this little tool I wrote. Not this one. Okay. So basically, now you can see how the terrain is actually the material IDs. So by color, I can tell which of the material is what. It's a little bit exaggerated because the information is a little bit different store. I will show you that later. Or actually, let me show you right now. So let's open a GIMP and drop the test map that we've seen in the editor right now. So as you can see, all of the map is pretty much red, right? So if I take this color picker tool, let me grab this red one and let me inspect it. So what I see here, let me change to 0 to 255. So we can see that this pixel is basically full red and there is no information about other colors. So if I actually try to find one of the materials that is actually present on the map, over here there was something, let me just, yeah. So you can see now there's some information in green channel. There's that's basically mean that this small region over here has a little bit of green. That tells us that it's a different material type. Let's look at the lumen crystal that's over here. So it's basically pink. So it has still full color, red. That basically means how damaged the terrain is. If I, for example, make it a little bit lower, then that's basically hit points for terrain. So we can visualize the destruction of terrain as well. And the material ID for lumen crystals is 27. So you can basically paint a map using a GIMP, using basically the information about material types. It's a little bit tricky to do it this way because the IDs are pretty low and it's actually really hard to tell the different values between each other. And there's some other information hidden in the blue channel. of the color, but that's story for a different time when we go through the simulation of fluids and lava and stuff like that. So this is basically how we store the map. So if you want to create your own map, you can just open GIMP or do it like this, or we are creating our custom tool for actually building a map, so that would be a little bit more convenient for you. I think it's already in the game, but it's not yet published. So okay, anyway, let's get back to this material. So we can see the lumen crystal that has ID 27, and if I look in the upper corner, I hope my camera is not blocking that. There's some, like, if I go to 27, it should be blocked by camera, and it says room. Let me just move it a little bit. So you should see that we have a lumen over here. So we have the information which terrain is wall, gate, and buildings, and lots of weird stuff over here. So let me just move it back. So let's see. Let me just, for example, I can damage the terrain. Let's use a very soft brush and a little bit bigger, I guess. So that's too strong. A little bit less. So if I now disable this overlay, you can see, let me actually show you over here. That's still a little bit hard. You can probably see that the terrain around the pencil when I'm drawing is actually breaking. So we have a way to show how much the text terrain is damaged. So our pixel maps grabs this texture that you have seen before and basically applies like a filter that replaces each pixel with a specific material ID with textures that we provided here. We have this texture over here that's not visible actually. Let me see, terrain. Can I show it to you? I think I can. So basically you can provide a texture like that, and it basically will know that ID material 0 is this one, number 1 is this one, and so on. And obviously there are materials that are not here. For example, lumen is like more special effect than anything else, so it doesn't take a texture from here. But basically what it does, it grabs the ID that's hidden under these colors over here and replaces with textures. So on top of that, we are doing something else because there's some many parameters we can actually click with that. So we have a random blur that's I'm always changing it, it never does anything. So you can blend materials with each other. As you can see, there's some blending happening here. You can blur it a little bit on the edges. That's basically our way to show you that it's a wall and it's above the ground. So we have that one. Let's reset. So random noise, we can modify it for some reason, not really useful because it only changes the pattern. That's not really important. So we have a dirt multiplier. So basically this is a scale of the texture. If you want really repeating pattern, we can do that. It might be for some people that might be preferable. It looks a little bit more how to say it. It's better to identify what is what, because when we are using like this, it has huge patterns, and you can really sometimes blend really bad when it's dark. So we're working still on the visualization part. And then we have, let's grab this destruction here. We have cracks, so you can see when the value of the terrain, the red channel is damaged. So we can actually, in the places where it's not fully full HP, full hit points, so we can actually blend that texture of broken terrain over there. And we have some other parameters that we can actually tweak. So I think that's it. For now. I think next one will be about how we do the simulation of fluids. So let me grab this one a little bit and tease it a little bit, so we can do some lava tricks, and you will see how it will eat through the wall over here. So it will start melting the wall at some point, I guess, maybe. Oh, it's eating over here. I think someone increase the durability of the wall. Interesting. So anyway, so next time we'll be talking lava, and I hope you like it, and I explained how we do some things. So the game will be coming out next year, early first quarter, I think. So expect a little bit more information when we are closing to the release date. It will be released in early access. So please join us on our Discord, and if you like, you can talk to us, and we are open for feedback, and your ideas might get into the game. So thank you for your attention, and see you on the next one.